That's going to look attractive.
It is.
I know.
Especially when I was,
Smoke coming out my mouth.
when I was videotaping you chugging that wine, that 17 gallons of wine you were chugging at the wine shop.
Did you video that?
No, I didn't. But this is where I like to hang out. And that is the best sound effects right there.
Yes,
It's so
yes.
peaceful.
What a place for you to be.
This is, I am literally 5 minutes from my house. It's nice. And it's nice to have Melanie out here, and I'm showing her where I like to go and what I like to do. And I think she's enjoying herself.
Yes, it's beautiful. It really is. What are you doing? What is that?
So on July 2nd, in the afternoon of July 2nd, 1863, the Confederates had already overrun day one of the battle. They'd already taken all of this. And there were three brothers, Philip, Thomas, and another Harmon, who came from Charleston, South Carolina, with the 13th South Carolina Infantry. And they came right across this field on July 2nd, headed towards what is now West Confederate Avenue. And 155 years ago, where that newer barn is, an older barn was there. And my cousins, my three cousins from Charleston, South Carolina, burned down that original barn that was there.
Oh, really?
Yep. So whenever I roll past here, I can always say, my cousins burned that barn down. So that's why I always take pictures of that barn.
Wow.
Day one of the Battle of Gettysburg out here with my friend Melanie. And so you always see me take pictures of that barn, and that's why. There used to be another barn there 155 years ago, and on the second day of the battle, my cousins rolled through there with the 13th South Carolina and burned that barn down. Now, just past that barn, in those trees, is their cousins' farm, the Harmon Farm. So my three cousins came up here from Charleston, North Carolina, not even knowing that their cousins were right next door. So the three,
Wow.
so Philip, Thomas, and their other brother, I think it was RJ, with the 13th South Carolina, and I think it was Company I. It was like the Union Steel Boys or something. Anyway, they rolled across the Harmon Farm, not even knowing that on the Harmon Farm was their 16-year-old cousin Amelia, who was sent up to Pennsylvania at the beginning of the war because she was running her mouth as a Northern supporter. So her mother sent her north to stay with her uncle Emmanuel because she was causing trouble in Charleston, South Carolina. 3 years later, in the Battle of Gettysburg, her three cousins, who hadn't seen her in 3 years, rolled up and walked across the same farm that their 16-year-old cousin was on.
That is really cool.
Yeah, that's one of my family stories here.
So, let me ask you, is there anything of that farm that exists any longer that's still standing?
No, but I can show you some things.
Just the grounds?
Yeah, I can show you where the house and the barn was, and I can actually show you where the real bloody shit kicked off. Because the real bloody shit kicked off, it didn't kick off here. It kicked off over there in those trees where my distant cousins had set up shop. Okay, so back in the 1730s, three brothers from England came over to the to the colonies. And three brothers were Isaac, Abraham, and Emmanuel in 1730s. They came over from England. Now, my direct ancestor was Isaac. Isaac went west. He went down into southern Virginia. He went into Kentucky, Tennessee, and eventually my family made it all the way to Illinois, Texas, Colorado, California, and now even Alaska today. Okay, but Emmanuel, one of the brothers, went north, and his branch of the family came north and settled in Pennsylvania. Abraham's branch of the family went south down into the Carolinas, generation after generation after generation. And so that branch of my original family tree, Emmanuel's branch, ended up there at the Emmanuel Harmon Farm.
Now, this is interesting. I've never seen a monument.
You've never
shaped
seen
like
that? Okay, so what's really cool is several of the people watching this video right now, my friend Mario and Keith with the 142nd PA, which you've seen me do living history photos on Facebook. This is the unit this is their unit, And this is a unit that I portray with them. I've done encampments with them at the Fairfax Railroad Museum, and this is their monument, the 142nd PA. And you know, I'm really sorry, brothers, you guys, your whole unit got wiped out here on day one. You know, it's a terrible story, and I'm just teasing. You guys know how I really feel about all this. It puts a lump in my throat. But my friend Melanie had never seen this monument before, but you've seen my photos of a cross silhouette with the sun behind it.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm walking home from town across that field at sunset, and I come over here and I take a picture of the silhouette.
Gotcha, okay.
So Daryl, now I'm totally putting all your pictures together.
I really have never seen one shaped like
It's
that.
I think it's one of the most beautiful monuments. Now we just missed the monument before this one is an Irish Ulster, Northern Ireland Protestant monument. And how do I know that? It has the symbol of the red hand on it. And today that is the symbol of the Ulster Defense Force. And Ulster has been a kingdom that has been around since the time of the Romans building Hadrian's Wall. And that symbol in Ireland of the red hand from the Uí in the 6th century, 5th century, all to the Viking Age, that hand symbol was still used by Irish brigades and Irish immigrants from Ireland here at the Battle of Gettysburg. 1,500 years later, that same symbol is on a monument right back yonder.